All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, Couch Critics. It's Monday, y'all. Um, we are back here with another movie that Brad selected. Which, hey, you never know what these guys are going to come up with, and I guess what I'm going to come up with too. So, it's been a big week in sports, massive. Obviously Knicks come back last night. I'm sure you guys will talk about that on Monday. And then shout out to Cameron Ruggie, friend of
Yeah,
mine, won the 109th Michigan Open. Shout out to the sponsors, Hall Financial and Founders Brewing. Won by 7 shots. So
that's
a
awesome.
lot of good stuff going on. And I think next week or this weekend will be the start of some really big movies coming up over the next couple of weeks. We just talked about Disclosure Day, which, we might take a look at for next week's episode. But
Yep.
then, Odyssey will be in a couple of weeks and moving forward. But we're not here to talk about those movies, Brad. We're here to talk about fucking Breadwinner.
Yeah,
'Cause
breadwinner.
that is what we
Not
decided.
Fred Winner. Not Fred Winner.
Fred-
Breadwinner.
Similar, very
Very,
similar.
Very
very.
similar.
Yeah.
Very relatable
Uh,
to this one.
for some.
On Project Hail Mary, can relate. Breadwinner can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brad, since this was something that you were looking forward to, I do think that I got a chance to look into some Nate Bargatze stuff. I do think he's very funny.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But Brad, you want to go first or last with this being your movie?
I'll go first. I'll go
Okay.
first. So obviously I'm a huge Nate Bargatze fan, right? I love all of him. I've never seen him live yet. It's definitely something I need to do, but you have to understand, Nate and I are the same age. So and he's got a younger sister and we can relate. I'm not the most handy individual. So I get down with a lot of the things that he gets down with. I get it. I get it. So I was excited about this movie and I was very apprehensive going into it because I knew Bert Kreischer's movie, I thought it was funny, but the plot was terrible. This plot was a little bit better. But for the most part, I liked the movie. I thought it's a great family movie. It really is. Like if you want to take your kids and adults and you get humor in it, I think this is a great movie to take your family. So if we were like, hey, rate it on a family movie, you're right, boys. In the text message, you're right. I would give it a 5. But overall movie, there was some very funny parts. I think the storyline kind of got a little outlandish at the end, with the house collapsing and all of that nonsense. But Nate was funny in it. Nate was Nate. And that's what I liked about the movie. But I probably am only going to give this maybe a 3.2. So I think Letterboxd has it low. I think the Letterboxd is like 2.7.
2.6
is 2.6. Which Letterboxd and I never are
agree.
in the same right. But listen, if you're looking for a movie with the kids, this is a great movie for adults, kids, fun humor. Nate Bargatze's the man. I love him to death. He's a golfer. Everything about him I love. So, but movie kind of dragged on. So that's where I kind of put it. What about you boys? What did you guys think?
We like golfers. Freddie, near you.
Go ahead.
I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I agree with a lot that Brad said. I think it's good to see, Freddie. I think we can both agree. Brad showed some maturity there in that rating. I think that,
Yeah.
that
I'm growing.
we're growing in that sense. It was great. And I'm going to steal something from you here, Brad, because over the last couple of weeks, you talked about how the movies that we've seen, you wouldn't have seen otherwise without us, going to see it. Same here for me, man. I wouldn't even have known that this movie existed
Right.
if we wouldn't have gone and seen it. And I will say this, it was fun to watch. Like I was never at a point, because I did go see it in the theater. I was never at a point where it's like, I can't believe Brad made me watch this. And I was thinking going into it that this might be the first movie in a long time that I might walk out of the theater watching. But I never got to that point. And quite
Oh.
frankly, never even close. I never got
Okay.
close. I think that was me sort of projecting a little bit, being like, this is going to be based off of the Bert Kreischer stuff. And then I don't know if you guys ever watched this. This is a show, and keep in mind, I only watched, I think, an episode and a half of this, but Tom Segura's show, that was one of the worst things that I've ever seen.
I turned it off.
Yeah, it's so bad, right?
It
So
is.
we did talk about that a little bit, and I was a little worried about that. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the David Spade and Theo Bond movie yet. I did mean to see that, and I do want to, but I'm a little scared that that's going to give me that impression that I thought this movie was going to give me. So I agree. Family movie. This is a movie that you watch and it's just riddled with like I feel like dads can really relate to it. And but for me, a lot of the things that are happening are just way over the top. Like and it's kind of pathetic to a certain extent. So then I understand that that is the point to be super over the top, super dramatic, and to make it funny and kind of ridiculous. But, like, even the guy on the roof, like, I coulda gone without that whole tangent.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that this guy's just building whatever like like, not a jumbo, but like uh, a kid's playhouse on this guy's roof, and he just doesn't know what to do or how to solve the problem. And again, the point was probably that he had a lot of other shit going on, but there were some lessons in there too. I liked the part about him sort of leaving his daughter's spelling bee to go accept his reward after giving her sort of a lesson and contradicting himself. So I think that, if you have kids that are around, the age of 8 to 13, they might learn something from that moment. So there are some teaching moments amongst the chaos of this movie. But in the text thread with these both last night, we were chatting about this movie a little bit. I called it the most irrelevant movie of all time. And I will stand by that because if you don't see this movie, nothing changes. If you see it, nothing changes. It's a movie that you go and see and you're like, yeah, all right, cool. And then you leave and there's probably nothing you really need to talk about leaving the film. You're not going to be like, I can't remember what movie it was, Brad, when you said, I left the film wanting to talk or left the movie wanting to talk to someone about it. This isn't a movie you even talk about. Like you leave the theater and then you start talking about something like what's for dinner or something completely different. So with all that being said, I gave it a 2 out of 5. I think it's a good movie to see. I don't think it's relevant by any means. And I think Nate Bargatze is funny, but I don't think that he is a good actor yet. So I think there's an opportunity for him to obviously get better as he continues, but too over the top for me, but a fun watch. Like it's like grown-ups. It's like watching grown-ups if they focused on one of the guys. So like imagine grown-ups, but they're hyper fixated on Paul Blart or what's his name? Kevin what's the
Kevin
last name?
James.
I almost said Kevin Bacon. I know that's a different guy. So if they just took grown-ups and did a, a side project where they just focused on Kevin James, that's this movie. But yeah, 2 out of 5. I think that's
Two's a tough one. Two's a
two's
tough one.
tough. I mean, it's tough because you think 2 out of 5 and you ultimately think that, or you like make the conclusion from that rating that the movie is bad or terrible. I don't think that it's bad or terrible. I just don't think it's good. It's not good or bad. And it was a little too dramatic and a little bit too, there wasn't, the best of acting. So for that, I would say it was probably a 3, but with those 2 things I just mentioned, knocking it down to a 2. Like, this isn't anywhere close to, for me, on par with like the Devil Wears Prada 2, which for me, I think got a 3 or a 3.5. So it's a couple pegs below that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Let
Trying to
me let
stay
me ask
consistent.
let me ask you guys a question before Fred goes. And so I went on a Tuesday. It was the first time I got to go on a Tuesday because, well, I thought the Tigers game was going to get rained out. It actually was delayed. I didn't end up going, so I went on a Tuesday, which is great because the movie is only $5, which is awesome. I wish I could go every Tuesday. Did you guys get Nate pricing? Did you hear that? Are you familiar with
Well,
this?
Nate pricing?
Yeah, so apparently he had reached out to everybody, and the movie was supposed to be cheaper. It was supposed to be like Nate pricing, and he was making it affordable for families to go. That was a big thing about this movie, and I thought that I didn't get that option because I went on Tuesday and it's only $5 movies at Imagine. So I was curious if you guys didn't, but you didn't hear anything about that.
To
well,
be fair, I'm an A-lister, so it was just
yeah.
walk in.
I was gonna say it's already half price on Tuesday and Wednesday, so maybe we didn't get the option.
Okay.
Um, I'm not sure though, but yeah, that's a good concept though
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
because it is
they
a
they made a big
family
deal about
movie.
it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a really cool thing. He like reduced the ticket prices. All the theaters agreed to it, something along those lines. And but like I said, I didn't have that opportunity because I went on a cheap night anyway, so they couldn't make it any cheaper than $5.
You know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna boost my rating because of that. 2.5.
There you go. There we go.
A
For the
half a
people.
star?
Because you know what, Freddie? He's for the people.
He is for the
He
people.
deserves that extra half. 2.5.
Yeah. Nate pricing.
Okay.
Hey,
All
price.
right.
Crazy. All right. Freddie, what do you
Yeah.
got?
So, I kind of agree with both of you guys on most of this. I'm not sure it's the most irrelevant movie of all time or I don't know. I don't know what to classify it as, but it's a feel-good movie. It's easygoing, easy to watch. It's something that you would probably put on in the background when you have family over if it was to come on. It kind of reminds me of something like during holidays or something when you have a bunch of people over, if that like the Fockers or like, something of that
Yeah.
genre. I don't know. It's not as good as the Fockers, but like something like that. I think it was star-studded though. The guy on the roof, Will Forte. I mean, awesome. Mandy Moore, treasure. Um, and Nate is Nate. It's tough with these comedians to act and just get out of their groove. I think he did fine for what it is. Um, it's just a regular old fun movie. The thing that I guess hit me the most was me. I'm a little different than your situations. I am a stay-at-home husband. Now I don't have kids. I am not a stay-at-home dad. I am a stay-at-home husband. So to me, I understand the difficulties of running a household. Um, the things that come along with that, you know? So I had a soft spot for this movie a little bit because of my personal situation. It's just a personal thing, it doesn't, this doesn't mean everyone's gonna feel my way. But, you know, I think the lesson also was that being a stay-at-home mom, dad, husband, wife is not being jobless. And it's actually harder than many jobs out there, um, to coordinate, the all the little intricacies in running the show. Obviously, with kids, it's a lot more going on. For me personally, I'm overwhelmed. Okay?
They're
I mean,
planting
there's
hard,
days
aren't
where I don't know if I'm coming or going, you know, with laundry and separating the towels, which I do. So I was very relatable to that. Um, did I go to the package room? Did I pick up our mail? Did I not pick up our mail? Did I have my cigarette break yet? Like wh- who's on the view today? Like things like that are like when you pile these things up, it's single-handedly, they don't seem like a lot. But when you pile them up with the cooking, the cleaning, the light cleaning, and what's for dinner, which is always the biggest question in everyone's household. You know who decides that? This guy. This guy right here. Okay? So when the hard questions come up, it's guys like this that step up. Okay? And that's what Nate was trying to do. He tried his best. He did his best. Never gonna be as good as Mandy Moore at what she does. It's not an easy job. But for me personally, I can relate to this being a stay-at-home husband. And I mean, they're doing casting. The Real House Husbands of San Diego. I'm gonna be putting my hat in the ring, my chef hat, my cleaning hat, you know,
Towel
All
hat.
the
um,
hats.
all the hats you wear. So like this was this was deep. I know it's funny and it's cute, right? But to somebody like me, it hit. It was here, you know? It wasn't just a knee slapper. It was here, and I understood what was going on. and I felt the pain, the anxiety, the pressure of running a household. Um, so with that being said, I mean, enough of me ranting on and on. You guys don't wanna hear that. You guys have regular jobs. Um, I'm gonna go, like, 3-2. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, because I can relate so much, doesn't mean the score is gonna nobody wants my job. Nobody wants this.
Yeah.
I don't do this for me, guys. I don't do this for me. And when are you guys gonna understand that? But with that being said, I don't wish that on anyone. This is a tough damn job here, you know? And, some people don't take it as serious as others, and I take it very serious. I run a tight ship, and, with that being said, that's it. That's me in a nutshell.
Look, I hand up, Fred. Like, good for you, bud. I could never. Now, when my kids were younger, like, I would never want to be a stay-at-home dad. I would not. I would go insane. It would be a terrible situation. I mean, not as terrible as Nate's situation.
But let me ask you this, would you wanna be a stay-at-home husband?
Mm,
No,
mm.
no, absolutely not. If I did, first of all,
It's
my
a
wife would
thankless
never.
job. It's a
It's a
thankless job.
thankless job. It is a thankless job. First of all, my
I
wife
mean,
would never eat anything that I made because, like, I'm not a cook by any stretch of the imagination. And if it would, we would be eating like sausage and broccoli every day, like something super simple. Like, I'm not seared ahi tuna like Fred's preparing for Mary, but
but
it's simple.
but
I
that
would keep
comes over
everything
time.
simple.
That
Oh,
comes
you
over
think I'd
time.
learn? Fair.
Seared ahi tuna is not gonna be your run of the mill you know, first meal, first day on the job. Like,
Right.
I've been doing this. Like, this is not, this isn't, this isn't easy. But yes, seared ahi tuna. It's one of my specialties. I throw it out there on the menu once a week. You know, they eat it up. A little sautéed, a zucchini usually, some zucchini and some onions, some tomatoes in the saucepan. Sear the ahi tuna, slice it up. I like to use. I know you probably are bored out of your minds. I do like to use my everything spice over the top of the ahi.
Mm.
Gotta put it on at the end. Put it on too early, it burns. These are the things, though, you learn along the way.
So
This is not first
let
day
me
on the
ask
job.
Real quick.
this question. Let me ask this question. Okay. For the young guy here,
Mhm.
Nolan, Sarah gets a ridiculously good job. You guys, let's say fast forward, you get married, you have children, and she comes to you and she says, look, I have this opportunity. You need to quit your job, watch the kids, stay at home. Could you do it?
I think so. Yeah. I think a couple of my strong suits are staying organized, planning. And Freddie, listen, I probably owe you an apology. If I knew that this movie hit so close to the heart for you, I would have never called it relevant because just know
That
that
probably hurt a little bit.
I
That
don't
probably
think,
hurt a little bit.
just know that I don't think that you're irrelevant, Fred. So know
Oh,
that.
no, I get.
And
Listen, like I said, nobody wants this job.
thankless
You
job.
know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
thankless job, but I love it.
yeah. Great.
It's
Right.
like when they say, if you love what you do, you never go to work one day. That's how I feel. I feel like I don't go to work. So, that's now these are the relatability things that I'm
Yeah.
bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Now, you do have to understand that Fred went from a house to now a condo. So, I
Yes.
mean, he really,
Hey,
I mean,
no less laundry, no less cooking. You know,
Those
the
HOA people, though,
the
they're
light,
out to get his ass. He's now
the
man
light.
in
are you going to
HOA.
join the HOA board?
Oh, there you go.
No, there is no HOA here, but we do have a. Well, I guess there is, but like,
There
there's
has
no
to
like
be.
board. There's no board or anything. Like, you just pay a fee and nobody says shit. Like, but I keep another thing with Nate that hit me. I keep my ship clean. My recycling, my garbage, never full. Okay. I mean, we have a shoot outside my door, but like that's neither here nor there, right? That has nothing to do with anything, but 3 steps away. But like, so the garbage recycle scene, I, I felt like I was in it. I mean, because you missed that. And like Brad said, I ran a household in my last job. I ran the household. Okay. Pool, lawn, like it's
Dog.
just dog. I mean, customers coming in and out. Like I was a stay-at-home
I hope.
husband with a side business, so like remote, let's say. Um Sales. So, all of these things, when they pile up, Nolan, that's when you start to really
Yeah.
grasp the meaning of life, really.
Mhm. Yeah. So, yeah. Brad, to answer your question, I think that I could for a little bit. And then I would find out quickly, probably within the first 12 to 18 months, whether or not it's something that I could do long term. Like, I think the first year, I would be like, this is pretty cool, man. Like, I'm just hanging out, whatever. But then, like Fred says, like those things start stacking up, right? And then what I know is experiencing, but not talking about, is then the expectation keeps rising too, right? Because he's making the fucking ahi tuna and he's not burning it.
Who's
That better,
who's
that ahi tuna better be perfect every single time, or Fred's not going to hear the end of it, right? So then
well, I'm
that,
terrible at my job.
yeah,
I would be terrible at my job, just like any other person who goes to work. Like,
yeah,
like you blow a sale on a house, it's not a good look.
yeah,
It's not a
You
good
know,
look at all.
not a good look
if
at all.
if I don't try fold the hand towels and I
Oh,
fold them just in half,
Does she take them out of there and just throw them back on the floor and like start over?
all over the place. Try fold all my towels. Okay. I have a system, and that's what you would end up with. And I know Nolan's super organized. So you would have your system, you would be able to watch The View if you wanted, if there was a good guest or something. You would be able to watch the World Cup game today, Mexico, 2 o'clock my time. So, you know, there are some perks to being, but it's the pressure too. You
yeah.
have to understand. And my main thing that I want to say is I don't think, and Brad's going to hate this because he hates women and the advancement of women. So I don't think that stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home wives get the credit that they deserve. I think that they're overlooked.
Yeah.
I can tell you firsthand. Um, you know, uh, these are things that you guys wouldn't understand, and I wouldn't want you to go through this. Okay, that's how strong I feel about it. But I think that women should get a little more credit than they get for running a household, because even when women aren't stay at homes, they also run a lot of things,
Mhm.
bills, etc. So like now when you throw the laundry, the cooking, the light cleaning, going to the package room, I mean, we'll go to the package room. I'd have to buzz in. I have to look for my package. Me and Brad had this conversation once before. If I don't find my package, Nolan, I'm not sure if you heard this. Sometimes I play package roulette.
Yeah, yeah.
I take my glasses off and I grab some. Came up with a pack of Spanx. They're in the garbage now. Don't know who they're for, but it was a man's name on the label. Now, you have the mail room. Okay. There's a lot of things that go along with this. So this movie is a little more relevant to the regular guy or the regular stay-at-home husband guy than you would think.
Yeah.
Not
I
irrelevant.
think, you know what I think you guys should do? I think you guys should do it for a week.
I hope
I
that
mean,
my wife doesn't watch
now,
this.
Staycation?
now,
I am
Nate,
not cooking. I'm a terrible. No, she won't. Nobody will eat the food I cook. They won't. I'll eat it.
but
I'll love it.
here's the thing. It's what you do as a human being, you adapt and survive, right? So what you would have to do is adapt to the situation. You have a phone, you have ChatGPT, you have Google, you have Yahoo. All these things can tell you how to make a good ahi tuna. You may fuck it up here and there, but like maybe ahi tuna's not in your wheelhouse. Maybe it's chicken cutlets. Maybe it's steak. Like there are things that you can get by.
No, yeah, I definitely can get by. Like, there's no doubt about it. I would survive on my own. Do I want
I
to?
think
No,
that
absolutely not.
I think that we should get both Sarahs on here, and I think that you should tell them that you're each going to take a week off from work. And in your situation, Nolan, she moves in for the week. Um, and you just and you just experiment, right? It would be a great opportunity for you, Nolan, to be together,
Yep.
you know. Um, and Brad, I think it would really be an eye opener for you.
You
And
know
I
what,
think you
Fred?
would maybe start to respect women more.
First of all, that is false. I have nothing but respect for women. But this is something we should mull over when I'm there next week. We'll run this by Sarah, and then I think this would be a good conversation. A good conversation.
I mean, listen, you could still take calls and shit from, let's be honest,
No,
right?
no. Either I'm off or I'm on. Like one or the other.
True.
I'm not mad at that. Like what you could do is, and what I've been thinking about doing is, and I have um also put it in some publications where I'm looking for an assistant. So moving forward, I'm looking to get somebody under my wing, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then, you know,
Maybe
go
I
from
can
there.
assist you for the 3 days that I'm there.
Oh, that's even better.
You could go a day in my life,
Oh,
That sounds
God.
like an amazing idea.
and we'll film it.
I love it. Yeah, of course. We're gonna film so much shit when I'm there next week. It's gonna be hilarious. You know what, Nolan? I actually just found out that I will be at Fred's baseball game on Sunday.
Oh my God. Can
Not
you?
this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Oh, okay.
21st, last game of the season. News for this. So we just lost again to the same team we lost to two other times. They're the second place. First and second, these two teams are the first place team, the other team. We have beaten and we have tied. We haven't lost to them yet. This team is the third time in a row we have either been winning or tied in the fifth inning and lost by like 5. So this past week we were up 6-2 in the fifth. They scored 5. We didn't score the rest of the night. Okay.
Right.
And we ended up losing 9-6. And I don't know how it happens. Like when I sit and think about like, wait, what happened? Like it's just like we're winning, everything's going smooth, and then we're chasing 4. I'm like, huh. And it's so anyway, this week coming up, we have a doubleheader. It has been canceled.
Whoa.
The other team couldn't get enough players, but our manager decided that it would be nice, which is weird, that we split the doubleheader. We take a loss, they take a loss, because it's not going to really mean anything in the standings. We're like dead set on 3. We could have had a chance at 2 if we had won this last week. So the 21st will be our last regular season game.
And I'll be in
But
attendance.
it doesn't sound like it means much. So are you going to be?
Again, I'm not sure what's going to happen next week because if we end up playing that team that's in first and second that we had beaten and tied, if we end up playing them on the last game of the season and beat them, we may be able to take second. But I feel like I think it's just top 4 teams go to the playoffs, 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3 kind of thing. So it's probably not going to mean much. But yeah, it is what it is.
Listen, a rep is a rep. You got to get out
Folk
there.
show.
Practice like you
And
play.
then we get ready for around here in this league they're talking about. Summer is like the big league. So like people like we don't like a lot of teams don't play in the fall. A lot of teams don't play in the spring, but everyone plays in the summer. So like they keep talking about like, oh, well, we'll be set for summer league, like, and I'm like, yeah, I might take summer league off, like that would be the time I take off. Like, why wouldn't you want to play when it's 70 degrees instead of 90? Like,
Yep. Are you being recruited for a summer league team though? Like, is your name
Same
hot?
team.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's no
It's the
like
same the
trades or
same
free
team
agent
that
here?
I could go into free agency. You have to put your name on the board and stuff like that, but they've already asked if for me to play in the summer. Actually, when I played in the spring, like I said, they're like, "Yeah, so we'll play now, and then in the summer," like, they were talking about getting new jerseys and all this shit, and I was like, "Yeah, cool, cool, let me know." But we're the North County, Sharks, and there's a guy in the league who makes special helmets with the North like the, Tar Heels NC in blue and the helmet. So it looks like it, in, North Carolina because our colors are royal and sky blue.
Mm.
So it's $100 for the thing. You could pick each, double flap or one flap. I may now that was what I'm holding off on. Like my helmet's red because the last team I played for was red. Like I'm not going to get a new helmet. So I was waiting to see how this would like shake up, and then when summer comes around, if I'm in, maybe I'll order a new a helmet.
That
I
would be
think
a
it's a
nice
must.
treat for, obviously all the work you've been doing.
Thank you, Nolan.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Maybe Brad will chip in just to show his true dedication to obviously showing
Oh,
more
I mean,
appreciation, right?
Depends
yeah,
on
I
So
mean,
how he plays.
I'm definitely putting him to work, you
yeah.
know, just so he can get a little taste of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
For
meant
sure.
more of
But
like a
vote
payment
for
to
me.
apologize for wrongdoing. He buys you a
Vo
helmet to apologize for his past actions.
What are my past
wouldn't be
actions? What'd I
that
do?
would be just hating on women and the advancement of women.
No, you've been
But
filling my mouth for a
when
year now. That bullshit. I'm not against women. I'm just not a
when the
huge WNBA fan, and that just because I'm not a WNBA fan doesn't mean I hate for the advancements of women. In fact, I'm a fan of softball now. Fred, what do you got to say about that?
have you
Yeah.
been watching the AUSL?
No, I've been busy.
I told you it was on opening night. This is the
Yeah.
second season. Last year's inaugural season had only 4 teams. This year has 6. I messaged the AUSL, asked them, "When will New York, New Jersey get a team?" They haven't responded. But so there's 6 teams this year. So it's a good little league. Now you're allowed to play. These girls who just played that you watch are allowed to play in this league. There's like a special draft for those players.
Hmm.
This
Interesting.
year, like this season.
Interesting.
But again, when the voting comes around, House Husbands of San Diego, I want your vote.
Got it.
You got mine. I did have some questions.
Yes.
I'll do them quick. So I have a for sure back to Breadwinner. I have a for sure who I think was the best character in the film, but I'm curious
Okay.
what both of you think. Who was
Okay.
best? Who do you think was the best character in the movie? I'll go first
Hmm.
so you guys can think about it because I already have my answer. To me, it was his youngest daughter. I thought she was
Of course.
hilarious.
Amazing.
Perfect cameos, funny, cute, all the stuff, right? His youngest daughter played whoever that, the child actor is. She did a phenomenal job. She's going to be based off of this, she's going to get picked up and she'll be in the next sitcom where there's like a need for a little kid. She
I
was
can see
fantastic.
that.
She was the best in my opinion. But
I, I may go with Will Forte.
yeah.
I just love him creeping around.
That was
And
great.
then like eating cereal at the table the one morning when all the kids were there and knowing the schedule
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
Nate
what
didn't
he
know.
yeah, he like the kid said something and he, like he's like, I can't believe you didn't know that.
Yes.
How do I know that?
Yeah.
You oh.
Yeah.
Also, when he told them about like the sleepover stuff, and he's like, I kind of heard through a hole in the roof that they're talking in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought he was good.
So stupid. Yeah.
right?
Um, for me, I don't know. I thought his boss was pretty funny. Dan, I
From
believe his name
Severance,
was. Yeah, but he was
Cherry.
pretty
Yeah.
good. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have to default to Colin Yost. I mean, I thought he was pretty funny in it. Like he was a
That
little weird
that
in
I
there.
forgot too.
Um,
Yes.
he was interesting, and and it was funny on the couple of comments on Letterbox. They said, "Oh, real easy for Colin Yost to play a stay-at-home dad." Considering his situation, right? So, I guess I'll go with Colin. I love Colin
Yeah.
on Saturday Night Live,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, go with him.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, he was funny. All right, cool. I
All
forgot
right,
what
so
it
next
was, but
next week we're seeing
yeah, we're gonna go with Disclosure Day. Let's rip that.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg. We're gonna completely kind of shift gears. I think this movie is supposed to be like a world changing thing takes place, right? So we're gonna go from sort of not serious and playful and fun to probably very serious, a little bit dramatic, and focus. You need to focus probably during this one to make sure you catch it all. So if you
carve
see
out
it,
some time though, right? It's 2.5.
2.5, man, and that doesn't count because we will have to go see it in the theaters. That doesn't count the 20 minutes before where you get to see the same 5 snippets that we saw last week when you went to go see Breadwinner. So, I've been seeing this movie advertised. I know we've talked about some movies, that we've reviewed that I haven't really seen any advertisement for. This movie has the largest advertisement, it feels like, of any movie that's come out in the last decade.
Okay.
So, here's my concern. Generally, when that happens, movie flops, right? So let's hope that Spielberg's able to pull, something good here. The early ranking on Letterbox for 32,000 reviews is 3.4, which is pretty good. So I think that again, those are the people that have seen it at like film festivals and all that jazz when it probably was had some private viewings and things of that nature. But yeah, Disclosure Day. You guys good with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. That's another episode. I think that we might have to explore doing it at this time every week. I think this is our best episode yet. I think
Thank
every
you.
episode that we do is great, but I thought that this one was, I think, Fred, that that was unbelievable. But really good stuff. Do us a favor, like and subscribe. And we'll see you
All right.
next week for Disclosure Day. Peace.
Take care,
Gotta get
boys.
back to the gotta get back to my chicken.
Yeah, yeah.